Hey guys, Rob, KG7LMI. So this video is going to walk you through how to create a PC GoKit. Now you can easily download the instructions from the website and follow along, but for those of you who might find a video a little bit easier to use, you can just watch this, and at the end, you'll have your own PC GoKit and be ready to go for an incident. Let's get started. Okay, so the first step in creating a PC GoKit is to get a flash drive ready to use. So I've inserted that in the computer already. You can see that right here. It's called GoKit, and the drive letter is D. It's important to remember this drive letter because we're going to need it in the next step. So either remember it, or write it down if you're not sure, but make sure you got this correct because bad things can happen if you don't put the right drive letter in the next step. So the first step is to make sure that it is empty. So you can see this drive has a few things on it. And even if it was empty, I recommend doing this step anyway. We're going to right click and select Format. And the file system type can be pretty much anything you want. I prefer exFAT. That generally works the best for flash drives, but you can put FAT32 on here as well. The other things don't matter, including the volume label. I labeled it GoKit just for this demonstration, but it's going to be overwritten, as you'll see later. So put in anything you want, and just make sure Quick Format is selected because it'll take quite a long time to do if it's not. So just hit Start. Say, yes, I really do want to format it. It's generally a good idea to go back and make sure you're at the right drive so you're not formatting your C drive or something. 32 gigabytes is clearly the flash drive. I'm just going to click OK. This format complete. Click OK and close this. And now you can see I have a GoKit and it's empty on drive letter D. And once again, we're going to remember that step. So the next thing to do is to download the installer. So we're going to go to k7yca.org, go to the members section, and select PC GoKit. Now, if you haven't logged in already, there'll be a login step before this, but once you're done, it'll take you here. And now there is a link we're going to click on, this blue text here, which will take us to the server where the files are located. Now, there's really only one file we're going to need for this step, which is this executable file, but I'll tell you what these other two are here for as well. So the README has the complete set of step-by-step instructions written down if you'd like to follow it that way, as well as some additional steps for how to personalize your drive. So you'll get this on the PC GoKit, so you don't need to worry about downloading it, but if you were to just download for the instructions rather than following this video, then you'd want to download this PDF first. If you're having some issues with your file and it looks like it might be corrupted, you can use this checksum to figure out if you got the file correctly or not. I won't walk through how to do that. You can easily Google how to use checksums and then use this data to verify that. And then we've got the GoKit installer here. This is version 24.03.22. It'll be something else the next time it's released, but all will be a date code for when it was released. So we just need to download that by clicking on that link. So now it'll confirm that you need to download it. Don't worry that it says there's no preview. It's an executable. Of course, there's no preview. And then we hit download. And then we're going to download it pretty much anywhere you want, anything that makes sense to you. I've set up a separate folder here just for this demonstration. And now we're just going to wait for the download to finish, which is going along pretty quickly. So I'll just let it go. Not quite like waiting for paint to dry, much quicker than that. Okay, there it is. We're now just going to go to where the executable is. However you get there, there's just an easy way to do that in this browser. So here this is. I'll get this out of the way so it's not in the way for us now. So here is the executable, and all we're going to do is double click on it. So double click there. It will ask you, hey, is this okay to execute? There we go, just like any other application. Just say yes. It's going to extract the loader and then bring up this dialog box. Now, if you recall, I said that we need to remember the letter that represents the flash drive that's in our computer. You know it's D, so we're just going to go back and verify that. And then here, we're just going to put in the letter D, where it's asking us for the drive letter. Now, the installer will do some basic verification that what you put in here makes sense. So it'll prevent you from doing really dumb things, but double check and make sure that you've really got the drive letter in here correct, because it is going to start to write a whole bunch of files, and you don't want this going to the wrong place. So we put the drive letter in here, as I think I said, either upper or lowercase, doesn't matter. Hit return. And then the long extraction process will start. Depending on the speed of your drive, this happens to be a USB 3, also known as USB 3.1 version 1 drive, which is not super fast. So this is going to take a little while. So I'm going to pause the video here, and we'll pick it up when the download is complete. Okay, so we're still not quite done, but there's one thing I wanted to point out just so you're not confused. This program uses 7-zip to unzip the archive to create your GoKit. And unfortunately, it's not really good at understanding its progression. So you'll see it start at low numbers, and then it'll hit 46%, and it will stay at 46% for a very long time. So don't worry that you think that maybe something's happening and it's not downloading or something's going wrong because it's stuck. It's always going to be 46%. The way you can tell that it's making progress is just to see these file names show up along here. You'll just see this constantly change. These are all the files that are being installed. So as long as that is changing, you're fine. Just wait for the process to complete. Okay, so the extraction process is completed. And you'll see this message in green that says everything was created successfully. There'll be an error message in red if something happened and it didn't complete successfully. But in this case, everything was fine. So the final step in this is to type exit and hit return. If you don't do this, you'll get a dialog message that said the last application may not have installed correctly. But to avoid that, we just have to hit exit and hit return. And we're out of that. So the process is done, but you notice this name hasn't changed. So in order for this to change, we have to eject it and put it back in. So there's a couple ways you can do that. You can right click on this and then select eject, or I can go down to the insert a drive menu here and select on D. Here it is, mass storage GoKit D. So just click on that. Wait for the safe to remove hardware. It's important to do this because flash drives cache the files that are written to them. And if you eject it before the cache has been flushed into the actual drive, then you have a potential for data corruption. So make sure you always eject it if you've been writing. If you just read from the files, no big deal. But if you're writing, make sure you always eject it. So I'm going to pull this out into the PC and just stick it right back in. And you now see that I have, let's get this out of the way. I've got a GoKit with that date on it. So it's easy to tell when you've inserted it what it is. So, and here's the content of my GoKit. And basically you're done. One thing you might want to do, however, before you wrap everything up, is to go to Documents and then Personal. And there's a blank folder here where you can put whatever makes sense for you to have on a deployment. So I keep my radio manuals, I keep some spreadsheets, I keep some notes and instructions on other things that aren't in the GoKit. Maybe even personal files you may just want in general for something that isn't even an Aries RAISE function. Whatever you'd like to put in there that you just might need on somebody else's computer because you don't have your laptop with you, that's what you want to put in there. So I keep a folder of all those things on my desktop computer, and when I create a new GoKit, all I need to do is to just move that over to the new flash drive. An important step is if I changed anything on that flash drive, you got to sync those two back before you do that. But it's a lot easier than trying to figure out each time, what do I need to put here? Well, everything's already set and on my desktop, and I just need to copy it over. If you look through the installation instructions, and let's go back up to the root here, and you'll see this README. This is exactly the same file we could have downloaded when we were on the server. So go through this. It gives you a couple other things that you may want to do to personalize your drive. But basically, once you've done that, and set up a couple other things like putting your WinLink settings on here, setting up templates for WinLink. That's all covered in the installation instructions. Do that and you are ready to go. If you have any questions, let me know. Good luck.